So morning, if you are joining now on Facebook or YouTube, we're going to continue with our breath work and our Qigong practice this morning. We're going to finish with a little seated breath work, doing some resonance frequencies. So really some nice balancing, calming breath. Just starting off, energizing the spine, always working on the spine. It's often a part of our body that is not really paid much attention, particularly when we think about breathing, but spine health is key to longevity because your nervous system is connected to it, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, your arms and your legs are connected to it. We want to keep it healthy, we want to keep it strong, but flexible. Breath now is just easy in and out through the nose. We don't need to take big full breaths. We don't need to hold the breath. We don't need to breathe out through the mouth. We're not doing anything strenuous. If your breath does start to change, say you were in pain, maybe you'd had lower back injury or something, and doing this movement was painful, then your breath would change. You would be catching your breath, so then you wouldn't do this movement. But the breathing should be very, very easy. And if the breath does start to change at all, you stop the movement. Slowing it down into water waves. Water waves, we just add that little bit of resistance. Think about spiraling. Think about the rotation of the wrists, the rotation of the elbows, the rotation of the shoulders with the upper body, the rotation of the hips, the rotation of the knees, the rotation of the ankles. A little softness in the knees, softness in the elbows. Keep lifting through the crown of the head as well. Keep that spine long. Remember, the neck is part of the spine. Watch that head isn't coming forwards. Keep lifting from the crown, lengthening the back of the neck. Creating that space at the base of the skull and the top of the neck. And take a rest. Good. Yeah, just watch when we're doing that one that you're not looking around. I'm seeing a few of you on the Zoom almost like looking. Keep that neck long. Imagine that string on top of the crown of the head, just gently lifting you up so that when you're doing the rotation, the head is just floating on top of the spine. Spinal cord breathing. Actually, with a good one with this, let's do the spinal cord breathing, lengthening the back of the neck. So you're lifting and creating that space there as you're opening up, rather than looking up. So we've done it before, looking up, opening up the throat, but you're looking forward and lengthening the back of the neck there. And then when you're tucking the pelvis under, you're tucking the chin towards the chest. So opening up the back of the neck. So moving the sacrum, the base of the spine, moving the cranium, the base of the skull. And moving the spine in between. And here we're breathing with the movement. So we're breathing in as we expand, but that's just calmly through the nose, not making any sound. Breathing out, and that's calmly through the nose as we curl underneath. We don't need to take big breaths. We don't need to have lots of control of the diaphragm to breathe out. We're just breathing calmly in, calmly out. And you follow your breath with all of these movements. You don't need to follow me or anybody else on screen. You follow your breath. You tune into your body, how it feels. Couple more. And then take a rest when you are ready. One palm down, one palm up towards the sky. So with this one, we keep that little bit of softness in the elbow. Watch that you're not hiking the shoulder up. Feel that length through here, through the side of the body, a little tilt at the top. So we're squashing that orange or lemon or whatever you want to imagine between the rib cage there and the hip there. So you get that nice length here through the rib cage. And then swap sides. Tall first, lengthen first. A little bit of a lean. Breathing in. And then breathing out, in and out through the nose. If that breath is too slow, just breathe naturally. But when we get to the top, just have that little breath in. No holding of the breath. No overreaching. So just keep that softness in the elbow. Feel the movement here underneath the armpit. Feel that lengthening out. If we force a stretch, everything just tightens up. So we just ease into that lengthening and elongating. Think about how an animal stretches. Do one more each side in your own time. No rush. It's not about counting reps. It's about that smoothness of movement. Good. And take a rest. Stand for a moment. Feel the spine. Feel the length through the spine. And a little bit of dog wags the tail. So shifting side to side and then just freeing up that spine. This is great for the neck. But think about the movement, all the movement coming here from the center and then the spine just waving on top of that. So the neck, oh, excuse me, the neck or the head follows. So hip leads, spine follows, then the head's on top of that. Again, nice and gentle. If anything hurts, you'll notice it in the, well, you might notice the pain, you will notice the breath change. You just make a smaller movement or you just stop that movement. Slowing that down, stand for a moment. And then we'll do a little bit more of a stretch But again, it's still lengthening and elongating. I'm just going to, my clock has just turned off, so I just want to make sure I've got the clock on so I can see what time it is, otherwise it'll be 2 o'clock. Wider on the feet, but again, your comfortable width, but we want to go quite wide on the feet. We want to turn the feet out a little bit, and we want those knees gliding over the toes. So we literally imagine, here's your center of gravity, here's below the belly button. Imagine you've got a little ball of light in the center of gravity, and you're lowering that down and you're lifting it up. So we're not doing a squat, we're not going into a squat or a tiger. So you're just lowering, and you'll feel that stretch there through the thighs. So again, it's not about how low can I go, let's force this and push it. It's about how can you ease and keep the breath easy as you lower down. Then how can you push up? So I don't want any tilting forwards here, literally just lower down. Good. If you start to tilt forward, you're going too low. So lower. So this is really good, really strengthening the legs, the hips. And then we're going to add that upper body movement in. So we push out to the side. So you can put a little bit of resistance here. So you can push, and then you can come standing back tall. Keep that spine in neutral. So watch that we're not overarching the lower back here. Keep that spine more neutral. So by neutral, I just mean keep its natural curve. You're pushing out to the side. So we're not lifting the arms up, you're pushing out there to the sides. Good. Stretching through the arms. And if you think about this more as, if you think as a point of view from a strength point of view, you're pushing and breathing out. So you're breathing in to prepare or to recover, and you're breathing out. And this is just easy in and out through the nose. We're not pushing really heavy weights, and you can put as much or as little resistance into that push. Do a couple more. You can really use the legs. You can almost like strengthen, almost like tighten all the muscles in the legs and in the glutes. Good. And then take a rest. And then just walk the feet safely in. And then we'll have a good shake. So shaking out the legs. And then just shaking on the spot, tapping the heels into the ground. Now with the shake, you notice that every time, if you're tapping the heels into the ground, that pushes the breath out of the body. So just let that breath just be pushed out of the body naturally, without forcing it. You could add some sound to that. You could add a hum, or you could add a. I'm not forcing that breath out. I'm not using that breathing big or anything like that. It's just naturally happening as that vibration is coming through my body, shaking the wrists. But then we can take a fuller breath and do a deliberate breathing in through the nose and use that sort of as a cleansing and clearing. Breathe in. Good, I'll shake. You only need 2 or 3 of those. Good, I'll shake, and then slow it down, slow it down, Slow it down. And stand. Whoa, lots of tingling going on there. Just enjoy that tingling, the blood flowing. Just relaxing the face muscles. Just tuning in with the breath, just letting the breath be natural now. Good. So we're using the breath there just 2 or 3 times just to cleanse and clear. You wouldn't be breathing like that all day long. So we wouldn't be breathing out through the mouth and taking big full breaths all day long, but just occasionally just to cleanse and clear, just to let go. It feels good. Should feel good. You've had a good old shake out there, standing nice and tall. We've got the spine mobilized. You should feel energized. You should feel good with that breath. Shouldn't feel lightheaded or anything. Let's just focus on, because we were chatting on the Zoom before the session about the difference between a big breath and a deep breath. So let's find our true deep breath to start off with. There's your belly button. Bring your fingers together like that and just come about 3 finger widths below the belly button. So we're just placing our fingers on the lower abdomen muscles. If anything, when we're doing this feels uncomfortable, just stop. It shouldn't do, but if it does, just stop. Gently put a little pressure against your lower abdomen muscles. And notice how this area responds. Respond being the key word there. We're not trying to move this area at all. How does that area respond to your soft, light, easy breathing? Just your natural breathing. We're not breathing in any particular way. How does that area respond to just your normal breathing? So you should be able to just feel as you're breathing in, gentle bit of pressure pushing the fingers out. And as you're breathing out, fingers just sinking back in. So softening the belly. Think of softening in the belly as you're breathing out. So again, I'm not pulling. I'm not trying to pull the belly button towards the spine, or I'm not trying to engage these muscles or engage the core or anything like that. Just let things happen naturally. So just that gentle, subtle movement as you're breathing in and out. So this area is responding to the breath. You're not breathing with the belly, you're not belly breathing. A lot of this terminology is misinterpreted, I find. So I want you to think of this point. In Qigong, it's the Dantian, the lower Dantian area in towards the spine. But you're sort of like thinking of this point as the sense of that true deep breath. So the breath is you're feeling this response as you're breathing in. We're not getting air down here. You can't physically get air down there, hopefully. What is happening biomechanically is as you're breathing in, the diaphragm is moving down slightly, and that's creating a little bit of pressure, what we call intra-abdominal pressure. And that intra-abdominal pressure is bouncing off the pelvic floor as well. So that's why you're feeling that little bit of pressure wanting to push out as you're breathing in. The other little focus when you're doing this practice, which is really nice, is as you are breathing in, if it's comfortable, put a little bit more pressure in there. So you can actually redirect the breath or redirect, not the, redirect the breath, it's not redirecting the breath, you can redirect the pressure into the lower back. So it's a bit like blowing up a balloon. If you put a little bit of pressure on one side of the balloon, it will move, obviously the space will, it will create more space at the other side of the balloon. It's really nice if you're getting any tightness in the lower back. So you come down to that point there. Again, only do this if it feels comfortable. As you're breathing in, you're almost restricting that push forwards. And just putting that little bit of pressure more into the back of the body. So you're channeling that energy, if you like, towards the lower back. And maybe into the hips in the lower back as well, at the back of the hips. Maybe even into the side of the hips. Good, so remember, true deep breath. Deep breath doesn't have to be a big breath. Here's a big breath. There's a big breath, but it doesn't have to be, that's not a deep breath. So when somebody takes you to take 10 deep breaths, you can do it like this. You can breathe light, you can breathe slow, and you can breathe deep. That is what is really going to keep the CO2, the O2 balanced within the body. If we do lots of big full breaths very quickly, we end up hyperventilating. If we hyperventilate, you're going to feel awful. So that's not going to calm the nervous system down. There's nothing wrong in a couple of big breaths, letting go, but we don't want to be doing loads of those. We want to come back to that light, slow, effortless, soft, quiet breathing. What you don't have to do, you just let things happen. It's 24 minutes past. We haven't done any flow. We won't do some flow today, actually, because I want to come and take a seat, and just because I've done a lot of talking at you for this morning, let's just have a few minutes just to finish off just doing some resonance frequency breathing. Resonance frequency or cadence breathing is creating that rhythmic breath. So just with that lull at the top of the breath and that moment of stillness at the bottom of the breath, but not deliberately putting any pauses or holds in the breath. And ideally anywhere between 3 and 7 breaths per minute is what is shown as a great practice for creating this resonance frequency breathing, increasing what we call the heart rate variability, the times between each heartbeat. This is not to say that all day long you want to be taking 6 breaths per minute, 3 breaths per minute. That's not the case. Our breath rate changes, our volume changes depending on what we are doing, depending on the environment, depending on the circumstances. But this is just a nice way just to help to regulate the breath. I'll give you a little bit of a visual also, so you can watch the visual, but you can also just listen to me counting. I'll say breath in, and I'll say breath out. We're breathing in for 4 seconds, and then we're breathing out for 6 seconds. So get yourself comfortable. Always feel supported on the surface that you're sitting. And strong spine. Remember, we've done lots of work on the spine, so we've helped to strengthen the spine, but make sure that you're not rigid. So have a little bit of softness in the spine as well. And you can think of a strong back of the spine, soft front of the body. So relaxing now the forehead and the eyebrows. Softening into the eye sockets. Eyes open or closed, whatever suits you. Softening and relaxing into the cheekbones and the jaw. Bringing that sense of inner smile, always a nice way to relax the face. If the face is relaxed, that sends the signal to the mind that the body is relaxed. If the body is relaxed, it sends the signal of safety back up to the mind. And then just tuning in with the breath. Tuning in with where you feel the breath. Really physical sensation in the nostrils is an easy place to feel the breath. The air as it flows in and out through the nose. And then also bringing awareness to the lower dantian, so feel the physical sensation. Even if you're sitting breathing, you can feel that physical sensation in the lower abdomen. And even if you can't feel it, visualize it. Visualize that physical sensation of breathing into the center. And then just breathing out. We're all going to breathe in the 4-6 rhythm, breathing out and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. This breathing is light, it's slow. It's deep. Breath in, breath out. 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 And then just letting your breath settle. And then maybe taking a slightly fuller breath in through the nose as you're breathing in through the nose. If you have your eyes closed, open your eyes. You can have a little stretch again, a little twist. Just a few moments there. Today's gone really quickly. I've obviously been talking a lot. Just a few moments there doing the 4-6 breath. It's always a nice one just to come back to that basic resonance frequency breathing. Brill. Thursday I will not be here. Alice will be doing the Zoom group, and then I'll be back next Tuesday and Thursdays for a while from next week on Zoom and on Facebook. So have a great rest of your week. Any questions again for the Zoomers? Have a little think about that, because these questions are great. So keep firing those questions for our 15-minute catch-up on the Tuesday morning as well. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Thanks for joining. See you later. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.